What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a live album by the rock band Evanescence. Basically, this particular product is called Synthesis Live, and it came out in the fall of 2018. Now, within the first about it here, as far as these pitching album, this is a follow-up banger within the hit type appeal of Anywhere But Home, as far as these pitching album, which was the original live album by Evanescence within these pitches that came out with it came out as like a re-up and an expansion pack to Evanescence after dropping their hit album Fallen. After Evanescence dropping their hit album and multi-platinum album Fallen from early 2003, as far as the first album, excellent type pitch. That's pretty good. Anywhere But Home's pretty excellent classic as well, pitched like that. Has some original tunes on there, some hard to find type songs pitched like that, good type varieties, a few cover songs within those pitches, like some new stuff, so good excellent varieties. This particular one, now the only unfortunate thing about this album is going to get a 10 out of 10 pitch like that, but it's kind of varieties as far as saying minus. It's some superb excellent pitches to get the hit song Speak to Me, which was a standalone Amy Lee song back in like the late 2010s as far as this first album within excellent type pitches. But the fair as far as saying with that, the fair about this album is it basically is just like the expanded edition of like Synthesis, which was a hit orchestral album from the year before in 2017. So pitches like that. Now, within the variety, as far as saying here, the thing about Synthesis, now I reviewed that back in 2024, and I gave it like a lower score back in those days, but nowadays I would appreciate that album a lot further within these pitches within the fair. I think the complaints I had about that album back in those days was the factoid that it felt like the complaints I had about that particular album back in those days, which would probably be less of that, which wouldn't be the same with that nowadays within these pitches of the fair, as far as saying that particular album, the songs that were chosen within those fairs were kind of like Synthesis kind of had turn up type songs within those pitches, and it kind of felt like the songs that should have fit that particular album back in 2017 would have been more songs like Hello and My Immortal and Lithium and some of those type ones within the pitch. But there were songs out that particular album that had the pitch as far as saying that the atmosphere was kind of more within like the spice of Bring Me to Life and Bring Me to Life and Going Under. I don't remember if Going Under was particularly on Synthesis, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying, being able to say it just had more differential type spices. This particular album has this is a pretty thorough type album within the pitch, just because the aspect of doing this live, you see the emphasis and the emphaticness that kind of goes along with the hit type feel. It very much feels like a darkness kind of swamp, like the fair disc, like Evanescence being like a world more so than just like a band within these pitches. It's a variety. They have enough hits to be able to back the fray as far as saying within these aspects, as far as like getting like an encompassment as far as like the fair disc, like even though they don't truly have that many albums within the pitch, they have like 5 or 6 nowadays when you count Fall in the Open Door, Evanescence from 2011, and then The Bitter Truth from 2021 is kind of pitch. If you count, you can count Synthesis as well, but that's really more or less like a stopgap within those pitches. So it's really only they've dropped 4 albums since 2003 if you don't count Origin within those pitches. So it's kind of the variety as far as that. They do actually have more thorough type products, but it's kind of the pitch that it's kind of within fragments. Some of these stuff airs products like Sound Asleep EP and the Evanescence EP from 1998, and then Anywhere But Home, and then Lost Whispers, the compilation from 2016, and then Origin, which is tough to find. So it's kind of pitch, but in terms of like the main spread type appeal of actual albums within the notation, it's only about 4, possibly 5 if you count Synthesis. But the pitch, as far as saying, paying attention to like the product here within these aspects, this particular one has a lot more emphatic within draw as far as saying the hits are definitely on here within the pitch as far as talking about it, but it has the variety as far as saying the gothic kind of emphasis just really speaks volume as far as these pitches can happen. Losing track what I'm trying to say. The pitch as far as just talking about within, it's definitely some original flavors as far as these pitches can have, and paying attention like the varieties as far as talking about within the aspect, as far as it's definitely some original flavors as far as like the pitch, as far as just like gothic kind of scream, as far as like the blisteriness, the gothic kind of scream queen type territory within the pitch, as far as saying just the aspect that there weren't, apart from Avril Lavigne, there weren't many as full-bound type divas kind of dominated within some stuff, asterisk dominatrixes within these aspects, as far as talking about the variety, as far as like the hit type glam factor that just kind of very original lane, and it has the aspect of kind of being like, it's like going to like a goth land as far as these pitches, which is excellent type pitches as far as saying paying attention towards it here. The emphasis behind this, there's just not many within the aspect. You might have Alice Cooper, Marilyn Manson in terms of like a male type thing, but within the pitch, it just feels like within the variety, it's kind of like a nightmare land kind of within some of the pitch. It's kind of a haunting, kind of a ghast like the actual varieties among some of these. It just feels like definitely encompassing within the fair of this album, which was, at least that's what I thought in 2024, was thinking that was less that seemed less whole in 2024 when I was talking about synthesis, but the appeal behind it, the emphasis behind it, the songs on here, the fair about this album within these pitches, it has kind of like a showy type fashion. It just has a lot more emphasis within the pitches. Hearing this live within the pitch, it's kind of, I don't know if it's as orchestral within this time as far as the full band. I was kind of paying attention more to like the composition, and like the song format and the broodiness and that sort of fare, but paying attention within like the aspect as far as saying. There's some ones on here, pitches like High Low and Secret Door and Lithium and My Immortal, some of these type ones, some of these type pitches where the gasness is pretty off the chain. It just has a lot of decay about this particular album. It's kind of in some new type formats as well, just on top of that. It's kind of the composition. There is a little bit of step out on here. It does kind of happen within these pitches. Not quite as like showy in terms of like the full bound kind of like gallivant that like Evanescence from 2011 was and pitches like that. It combines like a number. This is not really a greatest hits type album. It's kind of the pitch that the songs that are selected just kind of have like a good, it's just the composition. This kind of feels more or less like an original type Evanescence album with like the pitch, like the forms, how it happens. It has mild kind of traces, really. There's not that many songs from Fallen off this album, pitches like that. There's really only 3 on here, which would just be My Immortal and Bring Me to Life, and then My Immortal, Bring Me to Life, and Imaginary as far as these first albums. It's kind of more or less the same pitch with like the variety, same sort of pitch within the variety about the Open Door as well. So it's kind of pitch. Is not to say any slashes towards any specific album within those pitches. I think I've given pretty much. Like, I don't remember what I gave Fallen in the Open Door, but I definitely gave Evanescence from 2011 pretty high score pitches like that. But the variety amongst some of those type ones, the pitch that, from what I remember of Evanescence from 2011, the fair, that was a lot more kind of like a dance night kind of step out and just having like some social jigs, pitches like that. But it's kind of variety as far as saying it feels more of like a walk through, kind of like in a gas kind of. Like in a gas kind of somber type neighborhood within pitches. It's kind of homebound. It has some residential type fare. Not all of these. It's just kind of within the aspect. There is some step out on here, but it's just kind of within the aspect. It's more personal type fare. When I've said about certain aspects, like thinking of Gwen Stefani, when you think of No Doubt type fare, some of the pitches of being kind of amidst more. It's a gothic type album, excellent type pitches, very good alternative sparkle, but it has more composition kind of within the variety of less kind of within like the social outtake and more the gallivants of like the phrase of just going out and like the endless nachos, the endless buffalo wings, the endless wing stuff, some stuff pitch. So it's kind of variety. There is step out kind of on here, but just the variety as far as saying just with like dames in mind and folks like that, some of the pitch within the social price kind of just it has vibe check on here within pitch as far as not so much as if it's every 15 or 18 minutes pitch like that. It was kind of variety as far as saying just paying attention to like it's a good type fit amongst the usual type moody type bounty. So it's this kind of pitch of like a bruised type personality like Amy Lee kind of within the composition of this courting some of that courting like said dames like Amy Lee within the pitch of just like the bounty of this not just strictly kind of social compositions out at a bar or out at like, venue type dance bang pitches like that, some stuff, right? But miss the pitch of this like homebound kind of the fair of this like more lounge and porch type sessions and more with the aspect of like Netflix bleeds and pitch like that. So this kind of variety just saying there's some ones on here that have the composition. Like Amy Lee's pretty brooding pitch like that. Just good songs just within the pitch as far as talking about the usual darkness kind of haunt type flair and pitches like that. Some stuff varies amongst the soak in and pitch like that. But it's just kind of variety as far as saying paying attention to that to more than just like the composition of kind of like radio fizz and pitch like that. It's kind of variety. It's kind of just it's hitting more connect on here, which is excellent type pitch. Now, I'm not saying within pitch as if it needs to be more like dissonant and fierce like that, and just kind of more at arm's length within those pitches. Just the aspects for us saying that the aspect kind of on here, you just get the sense of what Evanescence is kind of within the fair, apart from like the usual. It goes beyond just like Bring Me to Life and Tourniquet and like Going Under, some of the pitches. Some Evanescence's biggest songs, which in a lot of phrase, the biggest songs they did not choose. They could have just went with the singles and had those particularly being the ones. I think they did that with Anywhere But Home pitch like that, but minus like Bring Me to Life, My Immortal, and Lithium, the biggest songs that Evanescence kind of dropped. This is more of like kind of a composition of this like personal kind of hero, more so in the aspect of like the particular fare of this, like a get up of like performable. Not say like they don't have other classics minus the main ones, but it did not pick like some of their usual kind of staples pitch like that. So there's a few of these, but not evenly every single time. It's just pitched like that. But looking after it, I recommend all 16 songs pitched like that. So 10 out of 10 album pitched like that. So just to get towards some of these It has a good excellent composition. This encompasses like the 3 albums they had up to that time, and it has some of the new songs and interludes from Synthesis, also from 2017, and it has all their hit albums on there. The only thing it didn't really have within those pitches discs, possibly like some of the tunes within those aspects, but then really Anywhere But Home was kind of a live album. So within pitches, for excellent comprisements of Evanescence, pitch like that, good excellent varieties. So Bring Me to Life's a hitting type 1 within the fair. If you know about Evanescence, you should definitely know the fair about this one within these pitches. It's like an extra, this tune's like an extra desolate and abandoned kind of. I'm talking about Bring Me to Life first because that's the most popular song according to Spotify. Pitches like that within these pitches has 1.5 million plays. But Bring Me to Life's like an extra desolate and abandoned kind of cathedral symphony. The hit song Bring Me to Life live's like an extra desolate and abandoned kind of cathedral symphony to get here, pitch like that. Just a goth mess hall kind of court to get to, pitch like that. So definitely a good nice tune to court dance since the pitch is just a slow dance type song within the usual brood type territory. So this kind of aspect, there are some varieties kind of on here, like some step out within the pitch. Now when I said this is more personal type fare, it's this kind of pitch, it kind of compared to the normal type fare, Bring Me to Life, which has a little bit more spice amongst like the dance turn up pitch like that. It's a good breakout within pitches, some of those type varieties. Classic staple out of early 2000s, one of the main reasons why that album went 6-7 tons platinum, pitch like that. But just the pitch as far as this particular one has a little bit more kind of like emptiness kind of about it, just with the aspect of like has a more doom factor about it, and kind of within the pitch of more esteem and bravado as far as these pitch down, but it definitely feels desolate pitch like that. It's a hollow type one within pitch. It is going out for a ballroom type court pitches like that amongst the step varieties. So just kind of step out, it is something grander and more grandiose with an aspect. It's a good gothic kind of grandeur. Some of these type pitches with an aspect, just like the Fair disc, probably where it would be a decadent type night. Where goth divas, Amy Lee would be decked out pretty wholesomely, pitched like that within the varieties. Just like the quality kind of dressed to impress type step out pitches like that in an alt type sense, definitely within hit pitches like that, which is definitely shrillness off the meter, good pitch like that amongst the affairs. But yeah, some goth meth, solid court divas, some of these pitches get a hypnotic shot or 3 in her system, pitch like that, some stuff varieties amongst the fair if it's within like bar type territories, but some of those type pitches within probably good excellent products. Lithium is a hitting type 1. It's like a pure darkness kind of excellence and scare to get here, pitch like that. Just a frosty kind of winter and chilling kind of after prompt, I'd say, pitch like that. So this kind of fair being romantic kind of within pitches, just like Tibble type varieties of it's more brooding kind of after effects pitches like that. Some stuff is just after hours type prompt pitches like that. Good nice one to toast just said gal pitches like that. Some stuff varieties amongst it. So kind of the fair as far as saying this. It's kind of on vibes like Buffy and fairs like that. Some of the pitches within some of the products, Twilight type fairs. Some of the pitches within the aspects as far as like the particular products about it kind of goes. Some of the pitches of this, the Tibble type torment of like a frosty and kind of more biting kind of autumn and winter pitch like that. So just that doom-ed type setting. Definitely a standout for Evanescence pitch like that. It has the same type varieties within the live type factors. Just a good excellent pitch for some of those type fairs. Just really, it's one of these immersive type ones that just has like scalingly good amounts of personality pitched like that within the fairs. It is something, it's definite hot topic staple, and this alt kind of demonicness pitched like that. Some surprise, a good type pitch amongst it, but yeah, this some homebound kind of sparkiness pitches like that. Say good fairs. My Immortal's a hitting type 1. Now this particular one's a decayed aftermath and groggy ass kind of chilly mornings to get to here. My Immortal's like a decayed aftermath and groggy ass chilly mornings to get to here, pitches like that. Since the fires this excellent kind of typical goth doom as far as these fairs can go. So within the pitch as far as saying that some of these type fires just kind of has that haunted type aspect. Now within the fair it kind of feels more within the aspect of like death and pitches like that, but also just feels like the after effect of this like personal squabble pitch like that. Just the after effect of this kind of good typical kind of alternative kind of drama pitch like that. Some of the fires of this like BS sort of day, some of those type fairs. It's a good embrace for some of these type products. It's great to listen to January, February pitches like that. Some of those type fairs amongst it is kind of the after effect being decked out in black, looking like one of the folks decked out in black from like Game of Thrones. Some of those type pitches, this real gothic type, this ensemble pitch like that. Some of those type varieties, but this the thing about this album is it's kind of like it has the snap about it within these pitches. It feels less casual within the pitch. It just feels like the snap kind of within these fairs just has a little bit more kind of decorum based upon the emphasis as far as these fairs can have. It's kind of the pitch as far as saying it's not just lounge clothes and kind of more just like Like the drama factor has like the ramp up on here, which is excellent type pitch. Just the broodiness. Definitely when you think of songs like My Immortal, Lithium, Bring Me to Life, like some of these type ones, Imaginary, High Low, some of these type ones, the factor of it kind of is just the factor that this is definitely one of the more emo type Evanescence type projects, which is not a problem whatsoever. This is very much the factor just alive and wired within a brooding type sense. It's just kind of pitched. You're going to be decked out within this particular fair. Definitely some of the type fairs to wear some of your best clothing pitches like that. Sounds surprised. It just feels like a more spicy kind of winter within these pitches to the point. If you have like those particular like goth type shirts, like the particular aspects of like some like Nightmare Before Christmas and like like Edward Scissorhands type shirts, pitch like that. Some stuff ones the pitch just like the decadent, just looking 10 out of 10 type quality. Some of these type pitches would be the good nice tunes for some of that just the aspect of like the dazzle factor kind of being on here, pitches like that. Unraveling slash imaginary is a hit type ones, like a morose kind of desolate local scraggliness to get here at the beginning of the song with the unraveling bit, which is also from which is a new song from Synthesis, the original album, pitch like that, good type varieties, and then it switches later on to like having like a jamboree good pitch like that, just a reconcile type song, just have some swag type fits for diva pitch like that, sense of price, just a good nice keychain sensitive aspect, some of these type bears, nail polish, something good like that within those pitches about it. So it's a brooding typeness, just within the varieties of like going for like a night of rounds pitch like that. Sons of varieties definitely get some hypnotic and gal system sons of pitches to have a good set of fair some of these type aspects. Other type varieties of like Malibu's, Alizé sons of pitches to something with the aspect kind of get the terror kind of within the spice of like pitch like that. But yeah, definitely some good reconcile. This night of rounds, said goth divas having like some varieties of like said goth divas having like some varieties of clones and like said goth divas having like some varieties of clones and offshoots, further type varieties of like the sort of gal that she is, pitched like that. Some good type varieties of just like nights affairs and just the good alt folks and pals with you along with it as far as this first kind of just clink glasses, pitch like that, get to some crunkness going, pitch like that. The in between slash imperfections, a hitting type one as well, good pitch like that. This was the single that was off Synthesis, good pitch like that, has some hit type appeals. The in between the intro type song is like a superb and empty score, and to get here good accent pitches like that. Just to say about unraveling a little bit further, that is a morose kind of desolate local scraggliness. This pitch like that is kind of neighborhood stroll zones that pitch is a missed aspect of like good typical haunts and pitch like that. It's the same thing with the in between. Some of these type varieties amongst the in between. There's definitely some superb. The in between is definitely some haunting kind of pianos, good excellent pitches. Definitely reminds of like Tourniquet and ones like that, and Lithium, good pitches. Some of those excellent type varieties, like a superb empty and scorn kind of get here within pitches. Some superb empty and scoring to get within these pitches, and then the imperfection song switches to like amidst like some neon kind of makeshift. And the original hit single off of Synthesis, Imperfection, switches to some amidst like neon kind of matrix jump to get here, pitch like that. Just a spicy type of song, I definitely say. Good nice tune to be a meanie too, pitch like that. So definitely get some lean game kind of going, just being an ass clown towards said gals, pitches like that. Just kind of feeling the fair of just kind of. It's not like the sauce calls for every type of occasion, but just some of those type of areas, not to be saucy with them pitch of just like the get up of like overkill and screwing it over pitch like that, but it's kind of pitch for saying just kind of being an ass on some of those type of varieties of this, the extra joke to kind of throw in their pitch like this, some of those type of varieties of this. You could say more or less within the variety of being a dick, but not being a dick to like the extent of like this, the aspect of just knowing the fair between being a prick and being a dick as far as this first comes. So this is some of those type of aspects, but definitely spicy within those aspects. Good spicy type song. The flair of Amy Lee on this particular song. This is one of her more energized type ones. Usually she has a pretty collected type veneer pitch like that, but this is one of those type ones that kind of feels like the variety amongst like Evanescence from 2011 pitch like that. Some of those type varieties amongst the fair are just like wired, eyes wide awake, ready to get crunks on that pitch. That is going to have like a healthy, good set of rounds pitch like that. Just get towards the crunkness factor all night within these pitches, good excellent varieties. Lacrimosa is a hitting type 1. Lacrimosa is a hitting type 1. It's like a mid-evening rouse to get here and rise as far as these pitches go. Just within the relative wake-up type varieties, so just the crunk type factor. Just have like a quick OJ pitch like that. Get divas getting eyeliners on some type varieties amongst the fair. Just like the initial type set out pitch like that. Just map out the next few moments. Some type fairs. Just some goth decadence to get here. Just gal really looking studded pitch like that. Some type varieties. It's good to get to some socials. So it's kind of pitch just within variety. Just like the rendezvous, and then figuring out the next few moments within the aspect of like the next flair about it within these pitches as far as the product kind of happens just within the pitch as far as saying it's a good homebound kind of primer type song. So it's just within the pitch, just excellent This extra type variety as far as like the aspect of this like kind of lounge type fare within pitches, maybe smoking a bowl, something like that, figuring out the modes of this, how it's going to go down within the next good while. It's kind of dislike where it's not. Be some good nice fares to throw in, some take the edge off type moments, pitch like that. Just get like gal like a good nice shot of something within pitch like that. Crown Royal sends the pitches within variety of whom. But then whomever doesn't have to drive within sends the pitches amongst the aspects. This is kind of the aspects as far as those tones can happen. But just the pitch alike. Good nice kind of conduit type moments to just some good curriculum type fare, just not necessarily being towards the breakout of like the carnage, but kind of within pitch, just like some excitement on top of that for like the pending type moments, good pitches. High Low is a hit type one. This is an original type song, at least for the Synthesis album for 2017. Good pitch like that. It's like a solemn and good revamp to bring me to life pitch like that. Just a dark ballroom, I'd say. Here's some of those type varieties within it. Just excellent kind of drama bleed. I'd say some of these type pitches just has some flames about this song within pitches like that. It's a good step out there. This is probably one of the most kind of High Low is probably one of the most sparky type albums pitches like that. Is definitely within a ballroom type fare and like a haunting darkness type sense pitch like that. Some stuff varieties amongst it. Just good drama type fare within some stuff pitches. The variety getting like that moody kind of emo type factor just within the pitch alike. Cut loose fares like that. So this is kind of the pitch. Particularly Lithium was a little bit more of like a slow burn kind of brewed pitches like that. This particular one has more flame spices kind of with the pitch. Within the same type of variety as Bring Me to Life, but kind of this more make weight type tone within pitch to that same sort of variety. Just backup type songs within further type hits to kind of keep that flare of like the momentum going pitches like that. Good nice pitches. Secret Door is a nice one within these aspects as well as like a personal quarters kind of. Secret Door is a nice one as well within these pitches, like a personal quarters kind of haunting 2000s goth kind of Spotify bleed to get here pitch like that. Just smoke a joint real quick. Some of these type fairs have some ramen going, get some Netflix going also within those pitches. Devil May Cry type variety, some of these type pitches, this extra kind of gothic type fairs, finding some of those type aspects within the pitch behind it. This kind of a nothing type song, not so much nothing in terms of quality, but this is the pitch of this like extracurricular type fair within the product of just not so much a board type song, but just kind of pitch of this like feels more local, kind of homebound quarters, kind of lounging pitches like that within the variety, but just within the usual kind of a gas type fire. So Amy Lee's pretty good within these products as far as like the pitch kind of behind it goes. It feels like the aspect that like candles would be lit. It feels like the aspect like candles or incense would be lit. Some of those type fairs just amongst the pitch of some of those type varieties of black light on some of these type pitches, just the neon type aspects within pitch like that. Just kind of a good nice fair, just unwind, kick your feet up to pitch like that. Some of those type varieties within pitch. Swimming Home is a real nice one within these aspects. Like a great breakthrough in alt radio kind of grab to get here pitches like that. Just the vanilla and kind of healthier kind of aspect within sunset tones. It's kind of some doom, some particular tunes like some doomed kind of sunlight as far as these first kind of goes. This is an attempt to kind of get Amy Lee out of her normal type decayed type fair pitches like that. Some of those type varieties are going for like something that you would kind of get one of those kind of Wednesday, Tuesday type grabs pitches like that within the variety, like a power ballad. Within the variety, this is still gothic within the pitch, but it's a good type aspect for Amy Lee putting on more of like a smiley kind of candid kind of in realms that are not alternative primarily pitched like that. So some good type varieties as far as saying this would be one of the closer type ones. Now particularly the Bitter Truth from 2021 did this a lot more as well, trying to make having more aspects of having goth get back to mainstream, kind of like Fallen did from 2003, but some good type pitches, this kind of being one of those type ones that's kind of listened to just in the soggy kind of just dreary kind of atmosphere of like Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday type afternoons pitch like that. Some stuff. So just missed a pitch. It's one of those tear jerking type ones pitch like that, but just good excellent varieties amongst it. My Heart Is Broken is a hit type one as well. Good excellent pitches, like a good bring me to life type pace about this particular song. Just a few good soirees to get to pitch like that. Just kind of haphazard within the pitch. It's kind of here and there type personal BS pitch like that, but it's kind of varieties of just probably with an aspect with gal in mind pitch like that. Just some thorough kind of to be some good nice products for some thorough or kind of come through as far as these pitch amps. So this kind of variety more so than just like possible like a bag of puppy chow and like an $8 keychain, something like that within those pitches. Kind of variety as far as saying extracurricular type area, just healthier type things where it's going to be maybe like a layered kind of come through some of those that pitch amongst the aspect of going to like a work party or being sober for a good 2 or 3 days in a row, something to pitch. And I'll not say as if that's like gigantic kind of difficulty, but just the pitch it is like a series of days where it's kind of the pitch that relaxing type fashion, as if like the tear of just saying, all right, having some of these type fairs without the Bacardi as like a standby pitch like that, but just some of those type varieties amongst it. This fairs like that, just thorough kind of come through some of those type pitches amongst it. Some of these good type products. Lost in Paradise is a hit type one as well as like a bruised kind of afterthought and grim outings to get here, pitch like that. Just preoccupied, I'd say, just kind of empty, kind of routine type day, pitch like that. Just some sog to kind of get to here. Lost in Paradise is similar to Swimming Home, pitch like that, but just kind of a like the hit song Lost in Paradise is similar to Swimming Home, pitch like that, but just less of a radio grab sound type aspects. Just kind of missed the pitch of just like it's kind of a chum along type day. It kind of feels like a song. It definitely feels. It's kind of a chum along type day. Definitely feels pretty soggy pitch like that. It's kind of after effect of this. It's within some personal type gripe and pitch like that. It's just kind of the variety as far as talking about within the pitch. It just kind of out in the sunlight, some of the stuff there. It doesn't feel as much darkness and a scraggle within these pitches, but it's kind of variety of just like the in-between type fashion. It feels more like a summer type song or just springtime pitch like that. Some of the stuff varies amongst like it's kind of a desolate, just in like the makeshift type area. Just need to kind of reconvene and realign, get back into the product, get some come throughs going. Some of the pitches amongst it, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying just the product of dislike. It just deals with the product of decay as far as this first kind of it's a standout type of emo type song within those pitches, but it's just kind of product as far as saying just that doom-ed type factor, just more in like a daytime type setting. So it just does that without the typical kind of hauntingness that Evanescence kind of has. So it's a good type tune for some of those varieties. It's getting kind of an alt. Feels like some good Evanescence type makeshift just without the usual kind of shrill type factor. So good pitch like that. It's still pretty dramatic, but it's just kind of pitch. It's just not as like doom it. It's just kind of more daytime kind of grim pitch like that. But good type varieties amongst that. Good enough is a nice one as well within these aspects, like a leftover kind of makeshift chum along to get to. Good enough is a nice one here. It's like a leftover kind of makeshift chum along to get to here, pitch like that. Just a brushy kind of autumn commerce, I'd say. Just early kind of Dunkin' Donuts, some of their products within the pitch, just with an aspect with Gal in mind. Why so serious? Some of the stuff aspects amongst that. So definitely within the particular type variety, the typical kind of Evanescence within these pitch like the haunting, this kind of slum type factor, but this kind of pitch of getting that straightening kind of going. The aspect usually that's the usual conduct for Amy Lee and Evanescence as far as these first gaps. So just kind of pitch of throwing in that particular fair, just keeping the straightening of it going, pitch like that. Now within variety, definitely Dunkin' Donuts, since their varieties amongst the pitch, just getting some of those strawberry donuts, good pitch like that. Bavarian type one, since the aspects in the tone, just good tasty type factor. Just kind of within product, just throwing in like those rounds of this coding aspects within the pitch, just like the keep like come through pitch like that. Just yeah, definitely within very wise so serious some type aspects is kind of the product of what the hell, what type of shit are you on right now as far as these pitch kind of just some of those type of I'd say is like confrontational like that, but just kind of pitch of what's really up though, pitches like that, some stuff but just the pitch as far as saying some of the stuff products amongst it. I think some of these various other type ones I haven't talked about on here, pitches like that. I don't think I've talked about Overture / Never Go Back as far as these pitch kind of having. This is a nice one as well as like an aghast and empty kind of local taco run to get here. Some of these type fairs, this one the product extra type fairs amongst it. It's like a good companion to Lithium, I'd say. The other part of the song, the Never Go Back part of the song, it's kind of the typical wilt within these aspects. Good excellent varieties, just very similar to like Tourniquet, some of those type ones. Yeah, but the instrumental side of things, Overture is definitely like a good Taco Bell type run, since the pitch amongst the fray, just like the haunting kind of foresty type vibes pitch like that. It's the neighborhood strut, some of the bears, and definitely the Never Go Back part of the song just has with them pitches. It's kind of, it has like that particular get up type factor, good rouse factor, good wire type factor about it, similar to songs like Call Me When You're Sober, and particular Sweet Sacrifice songs that pitch, so it's just a little bit more, kind of more imperative type vibes pitches like that within the variety, just kind of vocal kind of gripe as far as these pitch gaps is within the pitch for saying just a wilted type song, but within the pitch for saying this is kind of pissing kind of on some screw you type vibes. This is kind of annoying me right now, pitch like that. It's not to say within the pitch of it being like a flame type song, just getting lambasted, but just the pitch for saying it's just like typical type gripe pitches like that. I don't think other type ones I haven't talked. I don't know if I talked about Speak to Me within these pitches. The hitting type one. This is the original type song. This is the only original song that's not on any prior Evanescence type product within these pitches. Now this was a standalone song by Amy Lee. Good pitch like that. I do remember the fair of this song. Good, excellent banging type one. Excellent within products as far as these pitches kind of happens. Like a good isolated kind of darkness to get to here. Pitch like that. Just a good. It's a quaint and hitting kind of melody and charm as far as these pitches kind of happen along with it. Just kind of. It's a good residential kind of grimness and prompt as far as this first happen. Just a sun, good nice collect and convene as far as these first can happen on top of that. Just a sunroom kind of goth updates and SFWs pitches like that. Some surprise, just the neighborhood kind of how you do's. Just the neighborhood how you do's pitches like that. It's kind of with them bright, just kind of stupid type fair with them pitch. And I'll say stupid with this the pitch of like. It's kind of the product of what did you find stupid today? Some that pitched amongst it. This kind of product of just catch up, collect as far as these first can happen. Just kind of within after effect of this kind of. Good, nice, haunting kind of sunroom catch-up pitches like that. Some surprise. So I'm trying to think of other type of songs I haven't talked about in here. I don't think I've talked about Your Star. Your Star is a nice one as well. Your Star is like a good gothic kind of rainy day, kind of My Immortal and Hello type vibes pitch like that. Just some weekday kind of makeshift push, I'd say here. Have like some lays in your system, bag of lays with an aspect just like the probably get along pitch like that. Just good nice tune to lay scale, figure out what's going on, send to pitches, pick up like a Spotify gift card, send to pitches, extra type things, take the edge off pitch like that. Phone charge cord, some of these type various amongst it is kind of the product of just pick up, gal swag pitch like that, mascara, as soon as I pitch within the aspect for the first kind. But within the pitch, as far as talking about it here within the aspect, this kind of particular type fair, this kind of one of those type ones, takes it back to like fallen type vibes pitches like that, so I'm surprised just to miss the fair disc. Feels like typical kind of blase and dredge factor within the weekday type push pitches like that, so I'm surprised just kind of here usuals in the dredge as far as these first gonna have, but just within that good healthy. Just within the good, healthy, and excellent kind of gothic sheen as far as these pitch kind of, so good, excellent price within some stuff fair is pretty basically like getting a little bit more prompted of like a song like My Immortal, just kind of the same sort of gasness of My Immortal, but just not quite as like moody and quite as like morose as far as those first kind of. But yeah, just Tibble type pitches, just the Blood Lad as far as those first kind of action type pitches. Trying to think of other type songs I haven't talked about here. I think that more or less might take care of it within some type pitches for the variety's going to happen. Oh yeah, I think there's one last one I haven't talked about on here, which is End of the Dreams. End of the Dreams, the hitting type one is like a pin drop, quiet kind of smoke type song to get to here. Get some smokes in your system first like that. Just kind of some intake type fare, just kind of appreciating like the quietness, just fares like that. It's kind of excellent aspects. This is kind of just like a more kind of skeletal type Evanescence type song. Just feel the doom kind of emanate as far as these first games. So just within pitch, just kind of a build-up type song within the pitch, has varieties of like similarities to Going Under and Bring Me to Life, that same sort of drama type aspect, but just some decay embellish, I'd say here. Kind of like songs like Tourniquet, some stuff aspects from the tone, but just kind of that Tibble type variety. So just the drama factor, like I was saying, with the emphasis, like the emphaticness on this album, just pitches like that amongst. It's a good, nice, tensive kind of engaged as far as this first album. Just should really get you exhilarated and engaged as far as this pitch album. Just the excellent aspect, just like blood pumping typeness, like Evanescence is pretty good and apt at as far as this first album. So excellent type pitch within this album as far as the fair is going to happen. Definitely within some type aspects here. So 10 out of 10 album within these pitches as far as the variety is going to happen. The social score is going to get a 10 out of 10 as well. Now within the pitch as far as saying pay attention like the product here. Personal type aspects within the pitch is like the aspect of not just juggling Amy Lee out in the field, but also more homebound, where the aspects just realizing that her character is the same kind of out in public and not in public as far as these first can happen. She is a Tibble kind of. She is a moody masterpiece as far as this first album. So it's just the pitch as far as saying paying attention to that project. Just like the same type of era, keeping like the things, then the aspect of green light when it's not just out in the fray with like particular just tons of Bacardi and gin in your system, pitch like that. So it's within the fair saying the homebound type fair, some of these aspects like pretty haunting type winters. This works excellent for like some white Januaries, some white Decembers, some white Februaries, pitch like that. Sense surprise amongst like the biting type winter and autumn sense type products. Just like the scraggleness. This is definitely Evanescence and like banner type primes. It's just as haunting. I'd probably actually say more haunting than My Immortal, despite the fact that was a pretty good standout. Definitely within the same type varieties, the Open Door, kind of within some type varieties like the Jump and like the Social kind of bite and just the ferocity of Evanescence from 2011. But it's kind of pitching just saying the emphasis is very much on like the darkness on here as far as this is definitely one of the darker Evanescence albums within these pitches as far as just like the intake, the embellish of like the particular this kind of swamp type appeal. So it's kind of pitch, it has the aspect, but it's this kind of tone as far as saying just with like straightening and like the particular tone of like some good aspects like some tear up in your system, which the factor of the tear up kind of on here is just within pitch as far as saying it does happen, but it is kind of within pitch as far as saying just pay attention like the product of the aspect of whether or not Amy Lee and like said folks within these pitches are kind of within variety, just paying attention to like whether or not the personal side of things, which would probably be bills or just like the lights included kind of being straightened as far as this pitch counts. So just the aspect within that particular pair, yep, the tear-up's definitely on here, pitch like that. There is some step out within these pitches, but it's just kind of product. This feels like more of a bruise type album. This feels like more of a bruise type album than normal within these pitches. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind with the pitch of just like the straightening intact pitch like that. So as far as those pitches kind of happen. Yeah, in terms of the future, like I've caught up with Evanescence now, so this is the last one to get to within these pitches until they drop their next album, which would be from 2026 forward as far as these pitch counts. So definitely check out the Evanescence playlist, reviewed everything by them. Now within the pitch, I realized that one of which that has not surfaced yet, but I did review it back in like the summer of 2025, is the Sound Asleep EP by Evanescence, pitch like that. So that is going to surface probably within the next few months, pitch like that, probably definitely by late spring or so, 2026 pitches like that. But within those varieties, everything by Evanescence within those qualities is particularly taken care of. So pitches like that, I will get to the new Evanescence when it happens. So nice stuff pitches. I'm probably going to review some unofficial albums as well within these pitches. There's some good accent type varieties. If it has some new tunes on there or some unofficial type ones that are kind of within pitches, something within enough composition to have attention, I'll definitely get towards it within pitches like that. But this is a classic here, very blistering type album, whopping type one within pitches. Whopping type album in terms of the emphasis, like the quality and the emphaticness that goes along with this. So definitely blistering type haunt streak that definitely has some banging type appeals. This overall classic.